Hey, everybody.
Hi, guys. Well, from Salt Lake City, Utah,
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
the podcast.
I'm Frank.
And I'm Dan.
Coming up today, psychics.
Ooh. And mediums.
Ooh.
Wait, isn't the plural media? We're gonna be talking. We're gonna be talking about all those media out there who talk to the dead folks.
Ooh.
The plural.
Okay.
Yeah, they're spooky.
Yeah.
It's amazing how they know. They know things.
Yeah.
How do they do it?
It's a gift. Really.
From Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. They have a connection.
Does Jesus give them that gift?
Someone had to.
I think
a
a lot
gift
of psychics,
is given.
A lot of psychics do claim some sort of connection to Christianity. I think that's just bizarre.
Yeah.
I want to meet a Muslim psychic.
Yeah.
Abdul, the Muslim medium.
Uh-huh.
There, TLC. There's your next show.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. There you go.
Anyway,
I don't know that that's allowed.
I
I think it's stonable.
it might be stoned. Most things are. Most things, if you get too good at it, you could get stoned. Maybe not in the U.S. though.
Right. Okay.
I mean, there are some states in the U.S. where you can get stoned legally, but not that kind of stoned.
Oh, damn! Look at you.
See what I did there?
With little puns and
Little
whatnot.
little turn of phrase there.
Okay. Huh. All right.
All right, what do you got?
Well, I actually have. I wanted to start with an update.
Oh, okay.
This is longtime listeners of the show.
And first-time callers.
will remember the story. I think it was when Adam was actually guest hosting once.
Oh, right.
He brought up the story of this bus driver in Ohio who claimed that three black teenagers shot and stabbed him.
Oh, dear.
And that the only thing that saved him was a Bible. Right.
Oh, right. I remember this. I do remember this.
Mm-hmm. And that the Bible stopped one of the bullets, I believe is how the story went. Well, it didn't happen.
What?
Yeah.
I mean,
he
outraged.
I know. The police investigation has been unable to find any evidence that supports his claims. Excuse me.
Wait, which claim? The claim that he was shot at all, or the claim
he was attacked?
He was never attacked. You know what? You know what that means?
It's not even that he made up details about the attack.
He didn't. He made up the whole thing.
It seems like he made up the whole thing.
It's a great story, though. Why wouldn't? And of course, it's got to be black teenagers that did it. Of course. You don't make up that story if you're not going to bother to give the attackers that race. He might have been attacked in some way. Sure.
But the sequence of events, the ballistics tests on the gun that was said to be used in the shooting, it absolutely none of it could have possibly have happened as the driver described. So they I guess at this point they don't know what happened.
So wait, is there a Bible with a bullet hole in it or not?
I believe there is.
But he shot it himself.
Something, yeah.
I just think I think he's really endangering his community because they all think now that if they just put Bibles in every pocket, they're safe.
Yeah,
it's better than Kevlar.
Well, it's God's Kevlar.
It's Jesus' Kevlar. Put on the vest of Jesus.
Just the biggest Bibles you can find.
Right.
Just be clad in Bibles.
Yeah. Just all parts of make sure that all vital organs are covered by Bible.
Yeah. And it's a good workout too. You'll be ripped.
Oh,
because books are heavy.
Books are heavy.
You get a few of those big family-sized Bibles.
No, if you have back
problems, shield and a breastplate.
Yeah.
It's heavy stuff.
Gird your loins. If you have back problems, you should consult a doctor before wearing the Bible Kevlar vest.
I would think though. Talking about loins in the Bible and whatnot, that and this is not. I'm not actually making a really bad joke here, but the paper it's nice and thin.
It's very thin.
That would be nice to
to gird your loins with.
Yeah, it would be comfortable.
It's still paper.
I don't know. It would be nice.
I'd be wary of a paper cut. I don't want
That's
that.
What I'm saying.
I don't want that anywhere near
fine
my
paper,
loins.
Isn't it more sort of the thicker, rougher paper that you really risk having a good cut on?
Oh, maybe.
Like it's so fine, Dan.
Oh, okay.
It's only the
Why is
finest
that?
Bible paper.
Why can you
next to
not
your
get a
crotch.
Bible with decent paper? With good paper that's not like that thin see-through stuff.
It would be so thick.
I don't care. I want a real I want a book.
It's like 1,000. How many pages is it?
It's long. It's a long book.
It's a big book. That's
But,
gonna be that's gonna be like you can't carry that to church. Christians are expected to carry these things around with them.
Weak.
You have to make it.
You're weak, Christians. Do you even lift, bro? Hey, bro. Do you even lift
I know.
your Bible?
Yep.
Anyway, okay. Well, I'm going to go to Stone Park, Illinois, where there are some mad sisters. The nuns of the Sisters of St. Charles convent in suburban Chicago, they have filed a lawsuit.
Litigious nuns.
They are litigious nuns. They're grumpy because their neighbors have been playing the loud music all into the night.
Okay.
It makes sense that their neighbors would do this, though, because it's a strip club.
Who was there first?
I don't know.
So that's the only thing I care about in these cases.
Who was there first?
If the sisters were there first, I think they have a claim. If they moved in later, you moved in next to a strip club.
They're claiming that the club violates Illinois zoning laws, which require a 1,000-foot buffer between adult entertainment facilities and places of worship.
Oh, okay.
So it seems like the club was probably there second. The club's the newcomer.
How did they even get licensed and whatnot?
I don't know. I mean, usually, nobody. The city's not going to check. They just wait for someone to file a complaint, which is now what's happened.
Oh boy.
But the sisters have seen, quote, public violence, drunkenness, and litter.
That's not what sisters want to see.
No,
Nuns don't need that.
They don't. And litter,
and litter near an abbey or a convent,
right?
Oh my God!
Including empty beer and whiskey bottles.
That is unacceptable next to a nunnery.
Indeed. They say that the lawsuit mentions, quote, pulsating and rhythmic staccato beat noise and flashing neon and or strobe lights.
Haven't they ever seen nonsense?
They need to go into that place and witness to the patrons.
What?
I mean, literally, nuns standing outside of the strip club would probably have a deleterious effect on the club's profits.
Well, if they've seen Sister Act, they know how this works.
Yeah, you go out there.
Yeah.
You have your
can clean up the neighborhood, sisters.
You have your rulers in hand, and you just look at every person going into that strip club.
You shame them.
You shame them.
Mm-hmm.
You don't file a lawsuit. That's not, we can't, as a Hollywood person, that's not a buyable story.
Yeah.
You need to go over there and shame them.
Oh.
Lawsuit's not going to work.
Oh, yeah.
That's not funny.
No.
How am I supposed to lure in a Whoopi Goldberg-esque?
You'll never get your script sold.
No.
With that.
No. Whose name could I attach to that story? Nobody. Maybe I don't know.
Who's the right actress to play a litigious nun?
Litigious nun. That's almost a Susan Sarandon, maybe? Litigious nun.
Yeah, I could see Susan Sarandon doing that. Yeah, okay. Now I believe it now.
Okay. Now it's okay.
Now I believe it. You just have to attach the right actor to it. And once you do that, then I can see it.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like Sister Act meets the Rainmaker.
I don't know the Rainmaker.
I don't really. I was just trying to come up with a John Grisham.
Wasn't there one
novel.
where Susan Sarandon did play a nun? Didn't she play a nun in something?
Well, wasn't she it's a movie that I never saw, but wasn't it Dead Man Walking?
Yes, I didn't see that either.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure she's a nun.
She can reprise her role as none involved in something
Cleaning
legal.
up a neighborhood
Right.
through the law. Well, good for you, Susan Sarandon,
But
and your gaggle of nuns.
But if it was about shaming, then it'd be a much better story, and we could get, you could get like maybe a Kristen Wiig vehicle going here, then or maybe a
if it's a comedy.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
A comedy.
Huh. Okay. I don't know.
You get a
Nuns why are nuns naturally funny? There's
because
something funny about nuns.
they wear stupid clothes, and they turn their back on society.
Were nuns funny before the Flying Nun?
I think nuns were scary. I think nuns are in equal parts hilarious and terrifying.
Do we like laughing at them because they're terrifying?
Maybe. I think nuns are the same as clowns. They're clowns for Jesus. That's what they are. Everybody's kind of afraid of clowns and kind of loves clowns all at the same time.
Okay. Yeah.
Nuns are
That's
clowns.
fine. Okay. That's fine. Well, let's see. Since I dropped my other nun story.
Oh, okay.
I was going to talk about nuns in Italy trying to not nuns. Wait a second. I didn't have a story about nuns.
Wow. You've gone to an interesting place.
No, it was wives of priests in Italy trying to get the Vatican, wives and lovers, female lovers of priests.
How do you have a wife of a priest?
Well, there was one in the story.
Wow. Okay.
They kept it on the DL. They didn't get married in the church.
I guess not.
They got married civilly and just lived together.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some forward-thinking stuff. But that's not one of your stories?
That's not one of my stories.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
well then move on to
So
one
I
of your
had like a
stories.
nun thing in my head. I don't know why. That's really funny. Did you know? Oh, Dan. I'm sorry to tell you this
Oh, shoot.
because I know it's going to ruin one of your favorite things.
Oh.
I know how much you love Monster Energy drink.
I can't get by without it. It's more important to me than my wife.
Well, this is this is going to be a rough one for you. I'm
Don't
sorry.
ruin this for me.
This is going to be really, really tough. Apparently, the logo. Are you familiar with the logo of Monster Energy drink? It looks like it's an M, but the three sort of prongs of the M they look like a claw has
scratched it away.
It makes this M, right?
Sure.
And it has like this green light that's like emanating out. Like there's this
Okay.
like there's a monster
Right.
on the other side of whatever this barrier is
Sure.
that has been scratched, right?
Yeah.
So it's trying to get out, right? This monster is trying to get out.
Right.
Right? That's all I've ever read into this.
Sure.
Right. And also the color that they've chosen has always made me think of like Toxic Spill, which I thought also kind of was fitting for Monster Energy drink because that's what it tastes like they've rounded up was a Toxic Spill. But anyways.
Okay.
Apparently those three prongs look very much like the letter Vav of the Hebrew alphabet.
Okay.
Which corresponds to the number 6. 666.
Wait a minute. Wait, do you have a picture of that?
Yeah.
It's an M, but it looks
But look, see that?
Oh,
See the Vav?
so each
right
of
there?
so imagine, listeners, 3 things that look kind of like railroad spikes. Sort of fit together to form an M, but it's kind of also like, wow.
Yeah, but you see it, right? Can
Yes.
you see it? Now that
Yes,
it's
I can
been-
see it. It's I mean, it's a letter that corresponds to a number.
That's Hebrew alphabet shit there. I didn't make that up. That's for real.
I'm not accusing you of making it up. I just
And so yeah. So apparently it's the mark of the beast. And so people who are drinking, I'm getting this from discerningtheworld.com. And
which sounds like a very, very reliable, good source.
well, it's not news.
Right. No. I'm saying good source for spiritual enlightenment.
Oh yeah. If you
Is it
want to
it's a
be-
Christian-y
it's
website?
a Christian website.
Okay.
just filled with warnings about marks of the beasts out there.
Oh, good.
But as you know, the mark of the beast, or 666, right, is one of the things about sort of the end of days, is that it will appear that people will be sort of forced to wear it on either like their right hand or on their forehead.
Oh,
right.
Oh, okay.
And I have 2 more pictures to show you, because Monster they sponsor a lot of like athletic events.
Sure.
Right? And so they have gotten into like athletic wear giveaway things, and so they have like these like athletic gloves that you can wear that have the logo on it.
On the
so
glove.
You're wearing the mark of the beast on your hand, and then of course beanies.
Can we?
You can't go to one of these like
No.
events without somebody trying to give you a beanie,
Right.
and so
Now it's on your forehead.
So now you have it on your forehead.
You
And
know,
you're just walking around. You think that you are like this corporate product just chump.
you think you're a corporate tool.
Yeah.
But really, you're a demon tool.
You're a demon tool.
Well, I have to say, their product is called Monster.
Mhm.
Is the word beast so far off?
Well, part of one of their
see?
slogans is "Release the Beast."
What?
Uh-huh.
Oh, they need to embrace this. They need to grab onto this 666 thing and run with it.
I don't think they would care.
No. I mean, they don't want to lose all of their Christian people, but I love the idea of them being like, Mark of the Beast, sort of be like, hey, Mark of the Beast, you want some free swag?
Yeah.
Got some Mark of the Beast swag.
Well, I found this story actually on Reddit.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
The guy who posted it said, he said, I was drinking a Monster energy drink on the street, and a woman walks by and says, "Enjoy that in hell." And
Wow.
and he had no clue about this thing, so he had to look it up, and he was like, "Oh well."
Wow.
People take this shit seriously.
She didn't. So
Like,
she
we're
didn't
talking-
offer any like further commentary
No,
or
it's just like,
explanation.
I hope you enjoy your energy drink in hell.
It's like, wow. I would be so baffled. Like I don't drink these drinks. I hate energy drinks. I think they're disgusting and whatever.
I agree.
But I literally I would be just baffled. I don't even know that it would occur to me to go online and look up Monster, because I would assume that it was about me or something.
I know, yeah.
I would be like, enjoy that in
did she
hell.
tell
I would be
us?
like, how does she know? Does she recognize me from our videos or something?
Well, it always seems like to me that people who drink these things are the last people who actually need more energy. Right? Like, I'm thinking of 2 people in my life who I have known who I've watched just like down energy drinks, and it's just like, you don't need this.
Yeah.
What part of your mind do you think that like you're low on intense energy right now?
How do you think they got there?
But I guess I didn't know.
Right.
Maybe that's what I didn't know.
Right. Well, I mean, and I don't like energy drinks in part because caffeine doesn't have that effect on me, and so it's like
Just drinking a disgusting
drink. Yeah, I'm just drinking gross drink.
Right.
I'm not actually like getting any benefit from it. I realize that some people enjoy the drug element of an energy drink.
Oh yeah, it's
And
delightful.
there you go.
Well, not I enjoy caffeine ingested through coffee form.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Or iced tea form.
Sure. Well, I'm going to take us. There was a Supreme Court decision, not a ruling, a decision.
Oh,
Recently.
okay.
They have declined to hear an interesting case. The case itself is Elmbrook School District versus Doe, which was a case involving whether or not a graduation can be held in a church. A graduation ceremony for a public school can be held in the auditorium of a church that is clad in various and sundry religious paraphernalia.
An actual graduation?
Yes.
Where was this?
This is Elmbrook District in Wisconsin.
Okay.
And so they had this they had their high school graduation in a local church auditorium. Someone sued, and the decision came down that they couldn't do that.
Right.
And the Supreme Court has declined to take up the case, which means that the decision stands. Now, that's an interesting fact in light of recent Supreme Court decisions, like Greece versus Galloway, in which the town was allowed to have Christian prayer, in their town.
Okay.
So Justice Scalia is pissed. He would have taken it.
Okay.
He wishes that they had taken the case. He feels that it is. What did he say? He said, quote, because Greece made clear a number of points with which the Seventh Court's decision is fundamentally inconsistent, the court ought, at a minimum, to grant certiorari, I don't know what that means, that's legal talk, vacate the judgment and remand for reconsideration.
Wow, okay.
Certiorari. I should have looked that up.
Yeah.
I'm going to look it up.
So they have to find a new place for their graduation.
Right, which they were already doing anyway because there had already been this decision and stuff. But it is interesting that now that stands as precedent.
Right.
I think our country's very confused about what is and isn't okay.
I thought, though, that already wasn't okay. Because I'm fairly certain that my little town in Oklahoma would have been holding graduation at a church if they could have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
I don't... How is that still a question? In this day and age, how is whether or not, like, it's inappropriate.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird and it's stupid and it's not right to surround kids with your religion. I
mean, clearly it was probably one of those things that it just always had been that way.
Yes. I'm guessing so.
It just hadn't been rooted out yet.
And
because I doubt somebody, like, in this day and age just decided, some principal was like, where we should have screw this stadium.
Right.
Let's have it over at the Catholic Church.
I guess my question is, do they not, I mean, that the school doesn't have its own auditorium? I guess traditionally you don't have it at the auditorium, you have it elsewhere so it feels special or something.
Ours, I mean, let me think. Ours was in the field house, actually.
Right. And you and I went to your niece's graduation, and it was on the football field.
Yeah.
I just feel like what's wrong with your buildings?
Yeah.
Have it in your damn buildings.
Yeah, have it in wherever the field house, wherever the kids play basketball. Just have it there.
Yeah.
Why not?
You have assemblies there.
We had a huge field house.
Right.
That could seat the entire town.
Right.
But
you have to.
Yeah.
They need to come.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, there you go. Certiorari is or certiorari. I guess it's cert. I was reading it wrong. Is a writ seeking judicial review issued by a superior court, directing an inferior court or a tribunal to send a record of the proceeding for review.
Oh.
So anyway, they didn't do that. But yeah, so there we go. The Huffington Post published a thing about it and published probably the least flattering picture of Mr. Scalia. God damn names, man. Sometimes they just don't come. Anyway, you want to see this picture?
Is it the one where he's peeking out of the gates of hell?
No, it's just one where he's got more chin than he has rest of his face.
He's got a lot of face.
He's just lots of face. He's just got a lot of face.
Yeah.
It's just face bubbling out from other face.
Yeah.
He's got a
lot of skin surrounding that face.
Yeah.
He's got like a mane of fat.
A face. Not as much hair as he used to have.
A mane of chin.
But he's there's just rippling face pouring out of him. Not all of the pictures look quite that unflattering.
Yeah. All right.
So anyway.
Well, I would like to go to Arkansas.
Yeah.
Which, of course, is always this story involves discrimination. And so It's always surprising to hear about discrimination in Arkansas.
Is it? Wait a minute. Are you sure?
So apparently, one of the residents of, I'm going to pronounce it Beebe, Arkansas, Beebe.
Can I call it Bieber?
Or it could be BB, or I think it's just Beebe.
Yeah.
Beebe, Arkansas. So one of their residents decided that he wanted to use, so on his property, behind his house, there is another building, a garage, right?
Sure.
And and in the garage, he wanted to use the garage to set up a little church to sell a little store to sell religious goods. And he wanted to set up he called it the Seeker's Temple.
Oh,
right?
Sure.
And he talked to the mayor, and the mayor was like, yeah, hells yeah.
Set up that church.
Let's get you a zoning variance or whatever they call it, right?
For your garage.
Conditional use type thing. Because clearly you live in a residential area, so you can't engage in commercial activities.
Right.
But apparently in their city code, they do allow conditional use permits in cases for like churches and whatnot.
Sure.
Well, then it came out that this resident is a high priest. He's a pagan high priest.
Oh dear.
And the shit hit the fan.
Yeah. You can't do that.
And the
Not
mayor,
in Beebe.
The mayor went back on his word, and the town sent out a cease and desist.
Oh dear.
And apparently, there wasn't really much to cease or desist.
Well, yeah, it's a garage.
He hadn't even done anything yet. This came out like the day after.
Wow.
Their initial conversation. Because it was like, what the hell are you doing in our neighborhood? What are you doing in our town?
Yeah.
And so now that's just back and forth, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's hearsay.
Okay.
You know, because like it's not in writing. It's one, you know, the mayor says he didn't say that. The guy says that the mayor did.
Okay.
But when the media showed up, the mayor refused to go on camera. And the only person from the city that was allowed to talk to the media was apparently the city attorney.
Okay. That's wise on the mayor's part, probably.
Probably, considering that he'd probably have to lie,
right,
to sound okay on camera,
right.
But there was one of I guess they have aldermans in this town. Mm-hmm. An alderman who did go on record. And he really got to the root of the problem,
the heart of the matter.
Yes, and he simply said, "That man's God isn't my God."
Well,
and so there you go.
Done.
No need.
Done and done.
There you go. Discriminate.
I'm
fine.
It's not discrimination when I know whose God is real, and it's not your God.
Yeah.
I already know the answer. Yeah. So that's not discrimination. That's just clarifying reality.
Yeah. My God doesn't want your God here.
Right. Exactly.
Because back in the day, they had some problems.
Right. My God has claimed this sandbox for his own, and you may not play in it.
Beebe belongs to Jesus God.
And all of the Biebers believe.
Oh.
I got believers in there, sort of.
Wow,
Ish.
Dan.
I think it is a valid question to ask if people from Beebe are called Biebers, because they should be.
Beebites.
I think I wonder if they were called Biebers right up until, and then suddenly Justin Bieber took off, and then there was like,
I bet you could look it up right now.
I'm not going to
look it up.
No,
find out what they're called in Beebe.
That's not going to be
Beebites or Beebians. Bieber isn't bad.
BBs, the BBs,
Beebians.
I think it's Biebers.
I think I said Beebians.
I'm going to call them Biebers.
Beebe, Arkansas. I'm looking it up. You can do whatever you want.
You will find nothing. You will find nothing.
That's a standard thing on Wikipedia.
Anyway.
They say what people from a place are called.
Right. Anyway. I'm gonna move. You can fill us in on that later. I'm gonna move us along to the Navy, the United States Navy, where there's been a little bit of a dust up. A man by the name of Jason Heap applied to be a chaplain for the U.S. Navy.
Okay.
As you know, the U.S. military has a chaplaincy. He applied as a humanist to be a humanist chaplain.
How nice.
He was rejected.
How?
Roundly.
On what grounds?
Well, basically, they just the grounds that they gave were due to the limited number of vacancies. Only those applicants who appear to be most highly qualified are selected for appointment. Non-selection cannot be attributed to one single factor. So he's not qualified, or he's not the most highly qualified. Now that seems to be a little bit sketchy, considering the fact that he's a graduate of Bright Divinity School and the University of Oxford. He has a Master of Divinity, a further Master's in Religious History, postgraduate certification in religion and religious education, and recently completed a doctorate.
I'm sorry, this man clearly...
He's not qualified.
Is not qualified.
He's not qualified.
Clearly not qualified.
Look. If you had 2 years at ORU, at Oral Roberts, maybe we'd think about it. But all of those things, Oxford University, come on.
Yeah.
That's not a thing. Is that even a real university, sir? Sir?
Yeah.
Is that even real?
I don't know. Poor guy.
Yeah, he seems qualified to me, but not to our military. Literally, it was not until the Mexican-American War that even a Catholic had become a military chaplain. It was all Protestants up until then.
Really?
The first Jewish chaplain was in the Civil War. The first Muslim chaplain, you want to take a guess as to when that might have occurred? In the U.S. military?
1978.
93.
Really?
Mm-hmm. 1993 was the first Muslim chaplain. First Buddhist in 2004. And the first Hindu was 2011. So.
I think they need to reevaluate some things with regards to this chaplaincy thing. Because, I'm sorry.
Theoretically, every chaplain is supposed to be
a government
chaplain
entity.
Right. And the way that they get around the whole government entity, essentially hiring a priest or hiring a religious person, is that they say that every chaplain is supposed to be chaplain for all the soldiers.
Right.
Who could possibly do that better than this Heap fella?
Right.
Who could? He knows everything.
Right.
Clearly.
And as a humanist, he's really only... he doesn't have allegiance to one creed.
Right. He's literally, if I'm a Christian, I would feel really weird about going to a Jewish or a Muslim chaplain.
Right.
Because those guys have an allegiance.
Right.
I think as a Christian, I could go to a humanist chaplain knowing that he doesn't oppose... hopefully... he doesn't oppose any religion. He just is there for the guys.
Right. Well, to be a chaplain, he'd have to be.
Right. Exactly. So anybody could go to him and, in their hearts, they're thinking, well, this guy doesn't even believe in God. But if he's got good advice, if he's helpful to these guys,
right.
Frankly, we should be eliminating the chaplaincy altogether and bringing in therapists.
Well, yeah.
But as we discussed in an earlier episode, therapists in the military have to actually report to people, and they don't have, confidentiality agreements with these soldiers. And also, there's a huge stigma among soldiers about going and seeing a therapist.
Yeah,
but no stigma about going and seeing a chaplain. So they need some.
Except there might be a stigma of going to see a humanist.
I know,
chaplain.
Right?
But I mean, seriously though, you're a Catholic, and the nearest chaplain is Hindu.
Yeah.
How the fuck does that work?
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
Doesn't work.
Say 3 Hail Marys and 2 Our Fathers. And stop eating beef.
You might feel better.
Yeah, I don't know. It's all very well, it won't happen in my lifetime, but sometime many centuries from now, maybe they'll get rid of all of this religion nonsense and we don't have to worry about it.
Oh, damn. There could be a sudden thing happen in this country.
Like what?
I don't know. The South just blows up.
Even that wouldn't do it. That's what sucks.
It would get rid of the really crazy shit, though.
Like the South blows up. Frank just wished that the whole South would blow up, everybody.
Well,
I hope all you Southern listeners realize.
Here's the deal, and I know it's sad. I know it's sad that we would lose a lot of good people. There would be a lot of people that we would lose. A lot of our listeners. We would lose a lot of listeners.
That's Frank's version of collateral damage.
Well, that's the point I was going to make, yeah. Which is, it's a price to pay. And then the only true crazies left in the country would be the Mormons and the Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah, and the Mormons, the Jehovah's Witnesses. If you don't want anything to do with them, then they definitely don't want anything to do with you.
Well, at a certain point, they need to keep their numbers down. There's 144,000 of them that are getting into heaven.
Yeah, they're backpedaling on that thing, though.
Yeah, but still.
But the Mormons, well, you can just intimidate them into. All you have to do is start some contention with them, and they get very uncomfortable, and then they just leave.
I'm gonna excuse myself, please.
And
no,
then they
just pray about it, and we'll maybe stop by tomorrow.
And then they go to fast and testimony meeting and talk about the dark feeling that they got. and that's it. Mormons are easy to deal with.
And then my home teacher called.
Anyway, there you go. No chaplaincy for him at this point. So
well, good for him,
I guess.
He dodged a bullet.
Well, if you guys have anything you want to say about chaplains and Mormons and I don't know anything, nuns, all of the things.
I want to hear about nuns.
The clowns for Jesus. Then please drop us a line, won't you? You can write to us, podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you can leave us a voicemail at 424-666-8442.
Yeah, we'll get to hear your pretty voice. Or you can jump onto the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist, and see what's brewing over there.
And, of course, there is our website, www.thankgodimatheist.com. There's actually stuff happening.
People are starting to go there. So you
commenting.
You could participate in conversations there. That's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Well, so what are we doing now?
We're going to take a quick break. And, excuse me. This is that lovely, oh God, what's his name? Brian Wilson?
Brian Fisher.
Brian Wilson's somebody else.
Isn't he one of the Beach Boys?
Uh-huh.
This might be. Brian Fisher is also one of the Beach Boys, but he's the lesser known one.
Well, he was the one who dropped out right before they got famous.
Yeah, because they were getting not Christian-y enough.
Yeah, he was he was already a curmudgeon back then even.
Yeah.
So here he is. This is starting with a caller who's talking, a caller into the show, and then Brian Fisher chimes in.
Unfortunately, this is coming from my Christian perspective. Sharia law is probably preferable to what we have right now. The blatant sexuality, the killing of babies, they don't allow that in Sharia law. So as far as that's concerned, they're probably a little bit more just than we are.
Well, the interesting thing, Stephen, is that when Muslims around the world complain about the United States, they always talk about the decadence, and one of the main things they mention is the amount of pornography that is produced in the United States and then shipped overseas. And so they rightly accuse the United States of corrupting the morality of the entire world. And it's just embarrassing. It's humiliating that we have given them that. How do we argue against that? We can't. I mean, when they go out there and say the United States is the great Satan because of all the pornography it produces, how do you argue against that? Because they are right that is the work of Satan. We're producing it. We're distributing it all around the world. They have every right to complain about that. So again, as we've drifted from our cultural moorings, from our values, we're creating problems for ourselves as well as for the rest of the world. All right, that's an excellent call, Stephen. Thank you for that.
I didn't realize that all the trouble in the world is because of America's pornography industry.
I would say most of the trouble.
Wow.
Here's what's funny about this. You discovered this today. You found this little gem of a clip today.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I was talking with a friend about the fact that it had occurred to me that Sharia law, packaged a different way,
Right.
like as by introduced by a Christian, would really appeal to the people who are most afraid of Sharia law being instituted in our country.
No, clearly. And then we have this dude who's saying it.
Who figured it out.
Yeah.
He was like, wait a minute.
He's like, I'd be fine with this.
They don't like abortion. They don't like, women having rights. They they're all the things that I like.
We have more in common with those radical Islamists
than we do
with our fellow Americans.
Oh. We need to start a campaign to encourage right-wing Christians to move to Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia doesn't want them.
I know.
The
Middle East, then. Go find yourself somewhere in the Middle East. Go to Israel. It'll confuse everything. It'll make everything...
They know that Israel is not the place they want to be. They love this country, dude.
They say they
love this country so much.
Yeah, that's true.
Warts and all.
No, not warts and all.
Shit.
They want to fix the warts.
Oh, crap.
Let's fix this country.
They love this the country that they have imagined.
Right.
That never existed at any point in our history.
The country that they believe in their heart of hearts, regardless of evidence, that the founding fathers were trying to create. That's the country that they love.
So, God damn it, let's save it with some Sharia law.
Yeah. That's the only thing that can save us now. We have some emailers that have written in. Travis wrote to us, "Hey guys, I'm listening. I just listened. Try that again. I started that sentence like 3 times. And it's written for me. I don't even have to improvise it. So
that's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. Hey guys, I just listened to episode 134's email from a 16-year-old atheist in a conservative Mormon high school and wanted to add a bit to the discussion. I'm 17 and have just graduated from a tiny Lutheran high school in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Well, congratulations, Travis, on your graduation. I too had gay marriage come up in a math class. During the first week of calculus, we were reviewing functions, and the concept of a one-to-one function came up. The analogy my teacher used to describe this was, it's like marriage, one man and one woman.
Huh.
That's cute, right?
Yeah, okay.
Calculus.
Wow.
Gay marriage is like calculus in that it's bad.
Was there a memo? Was there a memo that went out to all the teachers that was like, no matter how hard you have to try,
work it in.
Slip in gay marriage.
Get it in there. He says, similarly, my Spanish teacher would go on rants about religion and global warming. He once went so far as to say that there was never a hole in the ozone layer and that global warming didn't exist.
Oh, no, there was. And then we changed the formula in our hairspray.
Right.
And it closed.
It fixed it.
Huh.
The analogy my teacher used to describe this was, sorry, no, I'm on the wrong thing. He said his teacher also scoffed at him at some of the authors of books that he would read. And he said he read Bertrand Russell and Dawkins and Chomsky.
Oh, fantastic.
It did give me an idea for my graduation speech, however, when I based the entire thing around a Bertrand Russell quote and urged my friends not to be afraid of thinking. Well, that's good, Travis. Thinking is good. I approve of that. Though you might think grinning and bearing it, this I found, because we kind of, I think we sometimes say just put your head down and
get through it.
Get through it.
Yeah.
He says, though you might think grinning and bearing it would have been the easiest option, Speaking out was what kept me sane. When my theology teacher told us that Christians were persecuted in America, I raised my hand and told him how ridiculous that is. We ended up having a 40-minute discussion that made me 30 minutes late to my next class.
Wow.
Similarly, when my physics teacher gave a creationist presentation, I went home and compiled 9 pages specifically addressing some of the bullshit he had said and why I thought it was irresponsible to say it. He asked me to talk to him after school, and we had a 2-hour discussion. I'm most proud, however, of convincing my biology teacher to consider making Dawkins the greatest show on earth required summer reading for her future classes. Love the show, Travis.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody knows their situation better than we do.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm all for.
And you know yourself. You know what?
Yeah.
You know what's going to work for you.
Right.
And not what you need.
And this
and
Travis fella sounds like a precocious little fella.
Yeah.
And if you've got the personality for it, speaking out can keep you sane. It can absolutely keep you sane.
Yeah.
But you have to be able to withstand some pressure,
right,
when that happens.
Right.
When you do that, because you'll get pushback, as Travis did. Dear Frank and Dan, writes Jason. This is our friend Jason from Panama.
Fantastic.
From whom we haven't
Jason.
heard for a little bit. He wrote us some very nice things. He's in the Peace Corps, for those listeners who aren't familiar with Jason. He said he said some nice things about us, and then he said, the last thing I wanted to say is in reference to the group you titled, quote, Angry Atheists. The following is my 2 cents. You see, I've become great friends with Panamanians who are all very religious. One friend of mine has talked at great length with me about his faith and my atheism. We are better friends because we have talked about these topics. However, this is only possible because neither of us tried to convince the other of our opinions. Instead, we tried to figure out how each other came to our position. If I had tried to, quote, convert him to atheism, or vice versa, our friendship would have been impossible. To be honest, I think that my friend is happier and better off with his faith. Most importantly, he learned that atheists can be respectful, intellectually curious, and willing to consider a differing point of view. They can even sometimes be Peace Corps volunteers. I'll keep listening to your show when I get back to the motherland. He's apparently leaving the Peace Corps after 3 long years.
Wow. Wow.
And he says if he has any more questions, he'll send them our way. In the meantime, he's going to start at graduate school in the fall studying plant biology. He says, science, awesome.
Wow.
And I say science is awesome, too. And congratulations, Jason.
Fantastic.
You're my hero.
Jason sounds on the ball.
He's got his shit together, doesn't he? This
yeah.
Jason fella, he knows what he's doing.
There's something I'd like to bring up from his email that you skipped over.
Okay.
Which is Jason wrote about us in like a newsletter.
Oh, that's right.
A local newsletter that goes out to the local Peace Corps volunteers. It was my understanding of what it was.
This is the Peace Corps Panama magazine distributed to all the current volunteers.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
More of that, listeners.
Reviewing.
Yeah.
We do
if
really
you have access to a newsletter, why not mention us? That's all I'm saying.
I really, you and I, Frank, don't know a lot about getting ourselves out there.
Yeah.
We don't, that's not where we put our energies. We should, but it's not what we do. We put our energy into producing the show and hope that everybody finds it.
Eventually,
it's
going to happen.
But yeah, it would be nice if you guys want to, if you've got
the word a little.
If you've got a blog, you could mention us in it. We wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
We're just bad at it. We need help. All right. Well, so there's that. We also had some donors to thank.
Wonderful.
Including Jason, whose letter we just wrote. So Jason, thank you so much. You're too kind. He gave both he gave both a one-time donation and he started up his
how very nice of you, Jason.
Automatic payments again. Jennifer has become a monthly subscriber as well.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. And we got a one-time donation from Frank.
Thanks, Frank.
Not you, Frank.
Thanks, Frank.
But a Frank that I
also have always liked. Thank you, Frank. You.
Or just Frank you very much. Anyway, if you would like to donate to us, you can do so by finding the link on our website at thankgodimatheist.com. And then you'll help us.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
That's it. Should we move on? Wait. I have a psychic premonition. I think it's time to move on to our next topic. People from the other world are telling me.
Is it my grandmother?
It is your grandmother.
What?
Wait. I'm
What?
seeing an older woman off my right shoulder.
Really?
I'm sensing a presence of an older woman. She's either good or bad a person, and she is. I get the sense
she was a wonderful person.
that she. Yes, that's exactly what I'm getting from her. Is that she was this wonderful woman, and she's kind, and okay, yeah, good, and she approves or disapproves of your lifestyle, and she wanted me to let you know that. Does that ring a bell for you? Is that feeling
I've
true for
wondered
you?
how Grandma Feldman would
respond. She approves of you being gay, but not of this podcast at all. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
I like to think. I don't know.
I'll tell you.
She was a Lutheran. She was a pretty serious Lutheran. She probably wouldn't be happy about it, but she probably would have just smiled.
Just lit up a smoke and said whatever.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. No, there definitely would have been a cigarette involved. Grandma smoked.
Well, there you go.
But you didn't bring up the important details about Grandma.
Oh, yes, I was going to bring those up.
Yeah.
The important details.
Yeah.
Which ones were those again?
Well, I was hoping that you would.
She wants you to know that she's safe and that she's happy now where she is.
Oh, that's nice.
And
she was very unhappy at the end.
Right. And she wanted you to know that she has found peace now.
Oh.
Right. She said.
What peace from what, though? Like,
oh, Jesus is real and she's in heaven. Just so you know. I don't know. Is that where we were going?
Did she really accept the gospel? Like my mother claims she did?
Oh, the Mormonism? Oh, she's a Mormon now. She's a full-on Mormon now. She was so grateful for the baptism that they did for her, for the dead.
The woman with 3 brothers who were Lutheran ministers. She was the president of the Northern California Lutheran Women's Association.
They're all Mormons
all that
now.
kind of crap.
They're all Mormons.
They're
now.
all Mormons. Okay,
all of them.
Good.
Yeah.
My mom was right then.
Yeah,
all
your
right.
mom is absolutely on the ball.
These people who had pure convictions of their faith. In
Yeah.
life.
Well, now they figured
Clearly,
it out.
once they died, it made so much sense.
Yeah, someone came up to them in the afterlife and said, "Hey, a baptism has been performed in your name. If you want to accept it, will you just sign here, please?" And they were like, "Oh yeah, I'll take that.
Oh,
I'm a Mormon now."
I'll take anything done in my name.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and look, someone else has made you gay.
Oh, and you've been washed in the Ganges.
oh,
Posthumously.
that's nice. That's nice. I'll take that. Actually, I've seen the Ganges. It's disgusting.
Yeah,
the pollution is nasty.
I've heard.
So
I've seen video.
I will delightfully decline.
You don't want to wash in the Ganges?
I'll wash in the Ganges.
Why not?
Well, if someone's doing it for me in proxy, then maybe, sure. That way, you can't. Can you get dysentery in proxy?
Well, proxy dysentery. I guess.
Right. You can get Munchausen by proxy. Anyway, what we're trying to get to eventually.
What? There's a point here?
Is that we wanted to talk about. There was an event here in Salt Lake City a couple weeks ago.
Theresa Caputo.
The Long Island medium came to our fair city. We did not go to it. Had we planned earlier,
I didn't know about it until the day of.
Right. We should have.
That tells you how much I pay attention.
And I heard she was coming, and I just dismissed it. It didn't even occur to me that that'd be perfect for the show.
Well, I seriously was just like, I was dismissive of it as well. I was like, who the fuck wants to see that?
Yeah. Yeah, but
on
then
the day, I was like,
yeah,
nah,
yeah. But we wanted to talk. But here's part of why I wanted to talk about it.
Oh.
I have a friend who is an atheist, and we're not.
You know, other atheists?
There are a couple in our Fairburg.
Okay.
She and I sort of met recently, and and we were talking about atheism and blah, blah, blah. And then the subject of the Long Island Medium came up, and she was so excited about the fact that she was coming. And I said, oh, really? Yeah, I find that kind of fascinating, too. And she said, yeah, I mean, I really believe it.
What?
And I went, wait, huh? Yeah, I really believe it. She's real. I watched the show. I love her show. And I was like,
okay.
Your skepticism might be a little broken. It might be your calibration. You might
selective
want to recalibrate that. But we thought we'd talk about it a little bit because some of our listeners might also feel that. So we need to back up that kind of a statement. If we're going to make a statement like psychics aren't real or mediums don't actually talk to dead folks, we might want to back that up a bit.
Okay.
So, first of all, can you tell us a little bit about Miss Caputo?
Miss Caputo was born in... I'm not going to go back that far. The Long Island Medium. She has a show on TLC. Did you say TLC?
I think I did.
Oh, okay.
Just pulled that out of my ass, though. I didn't know where her show actually was.
She has this TV series, and of course, it's recorded in a controlled setting,
as all TV shows are,
and it's edited.
Uh-huh.
As TV shows tend to be.
Right.
And there's an audience, and people come to talk with their dead relatives. This is key. This is her thing.
Right.
You have something unsettled. I mean, I guess, is that really kind of what psychics... Is that their shtick? Is that the whole thing, is talking to dead relatives?
No, that's what a medium does.
Okay, so she's really more of a medium.
Yes. She's the medium refers to she is the medium through which the dead folks talk.
Right. Because clearly there are other kinds of psychics. There's the kind that like the police department calls up to find dead bodies, right?
Yes.
Right?
Although they can be I think the lines do blur. I think some people consider themselves psychic mediums. My understanding is that psychics are more like mind readers, right? They are more like I'm going to look up psychic now as you talk about.
Okay. So anyways, I don't know. I mean, I do know that she does the show. She does big sort of arena type events, big events with tons of people in the theater. And then she also takes, I'm sure, at quite the cost, at quite a high price, private readings,
right,
as well. At her, she lives in outside New York, I guess.
Right.
But anyways, recently, RadarOnline.com broke the story that she is she's being investigated for fraud.
What?
I know.
What?
I know.
How can you investigate that sort of thing, for one thing?
Well, I don't know.
She makes claims that, she's talking to a dead person. It's difficult to refute that.
I'm just reporting.
I know
what I read.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Anyways, so Ron Tebow, who investigates, he has a whistleblower website called scifake.com.
Okay. Yes.
You might have seen that before. I had seen it once or twice before.
Okay.
Anyways, he one of the big things that he does is he debunks psychic medium types.
Okay.
And so he has been he's been talking to Caputo's clients and people that work with her, and really just like watching her techniques and exposing them.
Okay.
And talking about them.
Sure.
And calling them for what they are, because these techniques have names.
Okay.
Wait,
the names aren't reaching into the beyond. Is that one of the names?
No. She uses like shotgun techniques and cold reading techniques, where she like.
What about
these? These are
tried
and true.
What about the technique of talking to the dead?
Yeah, no. In front of an audience, they call it shotgunning because she says something stupid like, "Is someone here lost a relative in the last 10 years?" I mean, she's not that.
Someone in this section, I feel like there's a male presence here. Has someone in this section lost a loved one between the ages of, I feel like it's middle-aged, not quite old, but not quite young. This person's name may have begun with a J or an M.
Right.
and eventually,
the two most common letters for names to start with.
right. And eventually, like, someone's going to raise their hand like, holy shit, that's my brother Joe.
Right. And then she knows brother.
Right.
She knows the name.
Right. Yeah.
Like, people give away a lot of information and don't realize how much information they're giving away.
Right.
Even sometimes by not responding. But you're going to get into more of how the cold read works.
We'll talk a little bit about that.
But anyways, so I guess she's been getting a lot of bad press recently because of this investigation into her practices and people calling her out. Other psychics have begun denouncing her.
Oh, of course they have.
They're jumping on that bandwagon, and a lot of audience members are starting to kind of see through it. For example, I guess people who are fans of the TV show, which is edited, so they edit out a lot of her mistakes.
Sure.
And moments when she's not getting.
As
when
if she
her
makes
techniques
mistakes.
just
You're
aren't
assuming
working.
that she makes mistakes.
So when she ends up in front of a large audience of 2,500 people, she's the audience gets to see how much she gets wrong before she gets stuff right.
2,500 people must be a small audience for her, because when she was here, she was at the
former Delta Center.
Yeah. Where the Utah Jazz plays. She was at a huge stadium.
Yeah.
I mean, I doubt she filled it.
No.
But I mean,
but her tickets are not cheap either.
But if that's where they booked her, and the sound there sucks.
Yeah.
If that's where they booked her,
yeah,
she sold some tickets. She sold more than 2,000 tickets.
Yeah.
That's like, I mean, it's a stadium with a capacity of what, 30,000 or something like that.
I don't know what it is, but one of the girls at work took her mom.
Oh, really?
And she her mom actually was one of the people who got called on.
Oh,
and I can't remember all the details of it, but they were. I mean, apparently the tickets were pricey.
Well, yeah,
and they were right up in the front, because that's her thing too, is that she only deals with a certain part of the audience.
Yeah, you can't go everywhere in a stadium that size. It's not like she
should try to get up to the upper tier. I think
that
would be a good practice to adopt.
It would.
If you do that kind of show, get out amongst the people, right? The people who truly can't afford it,
right? But the trick is she can't like hoof it all the way up there for it, because she would have to like leave the stadium, go outside, go around, go up the stairs, and then pop back in
during a break.
And then everybody needs to locate her. Like, she's got her microphone and she's like, I'm up here.
Spotlight.
Yeah.
These things, there is a way to do it. The camera crew will know where she is, so put her up on the Jumbotron.
Right. Yeah.
This is all doable, Dan.
It's right.
all doable.
You're right.
Anyways, but so there's a quote in this little article from, and this kind of really speaks to the kind of person who goes to one of these shows. And who, like, so this woman, she mentioned sort of the size of the audience, and her beef was clearly that she was spending all the time on the first floor. It's this whole issue. She's up in one of the higher levels, and it really just kind of pissed her off.
Oh.
And she goes, I was a Theresa Caputo believer and watched every one of her shows. My young daughter died this summer, and I needed to believe in something.
Oh.
After tonight, I am no longer a believer. There were many grieving people there, hoping for closure or a sign from their loved ones, and 2,490 people left defeated and deflated.
Well, what was she expecting? That she's going to go from person to person, and everybody that shows up gets to be
she just touches you and goes, your baby girl misses you and loves you. Your grandmother says that the money's buried in the backyard.
Right. No, because even that would take too long. She has to run down every single aisle, going, you get comfort, you get comfort, you get comfort, you get comfort, you get comfort.
You don't get comfort.
No.
You get comfort. You get comfort. He hated you.
Yeah. Your dead people love you. Your dead people love you. Your dead people love you. Your dead people love you.
He loved you. He loved you. He loved you. He didn't love you. He loved you. He loved you. He loved you. He didn't love you. It's Duck, Duck, Goose.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Duck, Duck, Goose of readings.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's an unreasonable expectation, but oh my God, I think we've hit on in that comment exactly what's happening here.
Yeah.
Which is that people are coming with pain in their heart.
Right.
And they don't know how to deal with that pain
Exactly.
themselves.
These are vulnerable people in need of
Something. She just said, she said it. I needed to believe in something.
Right. And so she was willing to part with $100 to $200 of her hard-earned money.
Right.
In order to find some closure.
Yeah.
I mean, that is what people like, what Theresa Caputo are preying on.
Right.
Is that need for closure, that huge psychic need.
Right.
Right?
Right.
But a different kind of psychic.
Yeah, psychic as in your psyche, not
Yes.
psychic as in, as Wikipedia says, a person who claims to have the ability to perceive information hidden from the normal senses through an extrasensory perception.
Ooh, extrasensory.
Or ESP.
I would love some extrasensory something or other. A sixth sense?
Actually, there are many more than 5 senses.
Shh.
People don't realize that. You have a sense of balance. You kind of have a sense of rhythm. Yeah, you.
Are you speaking to me specifically when you say that?
Kinda. No, I'm just kidding. I'm teasing you.
Ew.
I've never seen you dance.
I have. Well, there's a good reason.
Well, then you've confirmed my psychic.
But my rhythm is fantastic. It's my coordination that's lacking. But my foot will tap to the rhythm just fine.
Right on. You're right on that downbeat.
But my hands don't know what my legs are doing.
Fair enough. The thing about psychics and mediums is that they do, as you mentioned earlier, employ some tricks
Of the trade.
that are. Now, here's an interesting thing. I do want to mention this because while I'm about to go into talking about the tricks that are used by psychics to draw out from the person what they need, or to sort of
Right.
get into somebody's psyche.
Okay.
I'm going to say this: a lot of psychics genuinely believe they're doing it. A lot
Really?
of yes,
They are not all charlatans?
they're all charlatans, but they don't know that they're charlatans.
I thought, isn't there some sort of intent involved in being a charlatan?
maybe, I don't know, but I mean,
I've always thought
it's
so.
always fake.
That's
but,
why I like calling Joseph Smith a charlatan.
okay.
Because I feel like he intended.
Well, here's the thing. Have you heard? You've heard of James Randi, the amazing Randi. He calls himself.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
He's a magician, a former stage magician, but more famous for being a debunker.
Yeah, there's a documentary out on him right now.
Right. That's
Called
going around.
Honest Liar.
Correct.
Yes.
The Randi Foundation that he founded offers $1 million prize to anyone who can prove psychic ability or paranormal phenomena or
Wow.
anything like that under a mutually agreed upon scientific or clinical conditions.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Well, Houdini had a fun little test.
Yeah.
Because he hated psychics.
Right.
He thought they were just stupid, right?
Right.
And so his thing was that he had this challenge, and I can't remember what the prize was, but there was a challenge for psychics after he died
Okay.
to go to a place, I can't remember what it was, and they had to, and his wife would be there. Houdini's wife would be there.
Okay.
And what none of them knew is that Houdini said, if I'm beyond the grave and these people are talking to me, I will tell you this.
Okay.
Right? I will say this to them.
Oh, right.
Right? So he told her what this little like password phrase was.
Right.
And of course nobody ever got it.
Right.
They'd come and they'd be like, oh, he's right here, and they'd do all their tricks. And it'd be all whatever. And then she'd be like, well, what is he saying?
Mm-hmm.
And nobody ever had Nobody ever had it right.
That's a good trick.
It's a good trick.
You kind of have to die to do that trick.
Yeah, but he was still getting them, like, because he would debunk them in life.
Right.
And so it was the ultimate insult to debunk them even in death.
Right, indeed.
He was a clever man.
He was a clever man. Well, here's what James Randi has done. He's posted this $1 million thing.
Okay.
And many people have taken him up on the challenge.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is, nobody's collected the prize, and no one oftentimes, frequently, no one's more surprised that they haven't gotten the prize than them.
Well, they have to keep up appearances.
Maybe, but I tend to believe that a lot of these people have been either trained or are just sort of naturally good at these manipulations.
Their mom was a psychic and trained them to be a psychic type thing.
Sure, or they went to Lilydale, New York, which is a training place for psychics and mediums.
Oh, really?
That I went to when I was in upstate New York.
Okay.
And it's a place where nobody would talk in terms of this is a fraud. They would talk in terms of like how to do it. And the way that they would talk about it wouldn't be like, and this is a trick so that we can get them to sort of give us more stuff. But yeah, they want to draw out information from the people, and then they just sort of enhance their intuition, quote unquote, or whatever. Anyway, I believe that a lot of these people are genuine and think that they have powers.
Okay.
Regardless of that, though, let's talk about how they do what they do.
Okay.
There's some great resources, books and online resources about how to do it. Michael Shermer, who is the guy from Skeptic magazine,
Okay.
Skeptic put together a lovely thing called "Learn to be a Psychic in 10 Easy Lessons." So I thought I'd just
Fantastic.
follow that.
Okay.
Step 1, he says, is set the stage for an intimate, comfortable experience. Establish your psychic authority with props, such as important-looking charts or bookcases full of reference books.
Oh. Okay.
What we're talking about here is creating a theater piece.
Right.
All psychics are a theatrical event. If you go to a psychic, feel free to go to a psychic and pay them because they're putting on a show for you.
Entertainment.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. They will try and make it very personal to you.
It's like a hypnotist.
Right. Well, hypnosis can be real. Oh, Frank doesn't believe in hypnosis. Hypnosis is just, yeah.
Stage hypnosis. 1, 2, 3, you're asleep.
I mean, basically,
There's suggestion going on.
when you go to a stage hypnotist, the first thing that they do is do a thing on everybody or on most people and weed out 90% of them and find the most suggestible people in the audience. Now, it doesn't always work.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, there's no reason to believe that stage hypnosis doesn't actually work.
Well, says Dan. Okay.
Okay. Well, have you done any research into it?
I've read a little bit about it.
Okay. So have I.
Okay.
Anyway, that's not what we're talking about today. So what we're talking about here is something different. But it is equally it's equally important to somehow establish authority. Psychics cannot work on people if the people don't accept that they're actually talking to someone with an ability. That's a pretty crucial thing. The second thing is project a sympathetic personality, which will put the client into a receptive, cooperative mood. And it's a good idea. You'll find a lot of psychics who express that this is a team effort. This is something that if you're not with me, then I can't do my job. If you're fighting me, then I won't be able to do this.
Right.
And the thing is, that's true. If you're fighting them, they won't be able to do it.
No.
Not because they don't have you're blocking their psychic waves or whatever, but rather because you won't be giving them what they need.
It's you're inviting a bad spirit.
You are. There are 7 things, according to this, that people most want to talk about. Those things are love, health, money, career, travel, education, and ambition.
Travel.
Yeah, travel was an interesting one. But it's
Tell me all the sights I'm going to see.
Right, exactly. Well, Or more interestingly, I mean, and what we're talking about here is the psychic jumping in, because the psychic has to create the sense that they are in your head.
Right.
So the psychic needs to have an in for that.
Right.
A way to, so there are what are called Barnum statements. P.T. Barnum was a master at this. Statements that sound completely specific, but that are, in fact, very, very general.
Okay.
There are certain things, like, for instance, most people in their childhood, or like, I think over 50% of people in their childhood had a scary event involving water. And this is good because it can be, you fell in the bathtub, or it can be your sister almost got killed while water skiing. It can be any number of things. And if you probe cleverly enough, almost everyone will have that. If they don't, that's okay, because what's interesting is that people remember hits and forget misses. If you're clever about it, and if you redirect their brain quickly enough, they will forget that you had a big miss.
Maybe it wasn't water, but there was an accident.
I feel like there was water. Maybe, or you can also do this one. This is a clever one. Maybe you've repressed this memory. Maybe you don't remember it.
So traumatic.
It might have been so traumatic that you've repressed it.
Let's move on and see if we can get back to that.
Let's find other things. There's also, I mean, so there are the famous sort of Barnum things where, someone can just say things like, people close to you have been taking advantage of you.
Oh, dear God.
Or your basic honesty has been getting in your way.
Oh.
Or, that sort of thing. You pride yourself on being an independent thinker and do not accept others' opinions without satisfactory proof. Well, that may not be true about you, but almost everybody believes that it's true about them.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So it sounds specific, and yet it isn't. So once you've gotten that, then you've established sort of powers. Once you've gotten the general statements in, you've established that you're in their heads.
Right.
Then, after the general statements, you can begin to hone in on specifics that apply to most people by referencing things like, for instance, if they've come to you and someone has died, you can say things like jewelry. I'm seeing something about a jewelry that your mother used to own.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of women will wear a ring that their mother owned, or a lot of men will wear something. Wearing something that belonged to them is a way to feel connected to their loved ones, and so that's a good thing. Strange things like old medicine or medical supplies that are out of date in your medicine cabinet will apply to most people, because most people don't throw away their old medicine, but they'll feel like it's really specific.
Okay.
So that's an interesting one.
But what is it?
Like, I'm sensing that you have like some old medicine in your medicine cabinet.
Oh.
It's expired, but you still haven't thrown it away. What was that about? It's a great way for somebody to be like, oh, I had this awful disease. I had this thing that happened to me.
Yeah. My allergies last year were awful.
Right. I'm picking up on that.
I've got some expired Flonase. How did you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And I do.
Yeah,
that's I was like, what's my expired thing? Oh, I have some Flonase because I hate Flonase.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter what it is. It doesn't even have to connect to something. Like if I'm the psychic and you tell me, yeah, I've got some Flonase, I can be like, yeah, because Flonase doesn't connect to anything traumatic in your life.
No, but boy, your springs must be difficult. The allergy season must be a real challenge for you.
Yeah.
Do you end up spending a lot of time indoors?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but you don't even have to go anywhere with it. It's a hit, and a hit feels like a hit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to take it somewhere. But if they say, yes, I've got some, I didn't take all of my cancer medication, but, I still have a little bit left. It's like, oh, yeah, tell me about your cancer. Because I feel like that's been kind of a really important thing. I mean, I picked up on the, this medication.
Very difficult time in your family.
I feel like it's a metaphor for something greater. It was a really rough. Was it hard for you to have cancer? Was that rough on you when you had cancer? I don't know if that was difficult for you or not. Knee injuries are a big thing. If you say do you have a scar on your knee or elbow?
Oh my God, I do.
Yeah, you do.
Whoa, and I actually have a real knee injury too.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did you know?
Seeing your knee. I'm seeing a knee. And then you use words like you use phrases like, "Does that sound right to you?" or "What might this refer to?" or
well, when I was a kid,
does this maybe link to something in your life?
Mm-hmm.
Because what you're doing is putting the onus on the other person to make the connections.
Right.
You say something,
Right.
and then say, you make a connection with this. Is there a
Right.
connection that you can make? I see a tree.
Right.
I see a great tree.
Yeah.
Does that mean anything to you?
I know the tree, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me about that.
What was in our front yard when I was a kid?
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved climbing the tree.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that joy with that tree.
Yeah.
I feel that joy.
Yeah. It was wonderful.
Anyway, all of those sorts of things are very good ways of getting into it. And you notice what I did there was I said a thing that felt specific to you, and then let you tell me about it. And then I'm the psychic.
Right.
Because you told me about it.
Right. And a tree is a joyful thing.
Climbing a tree is a happy thing. And I wait until you tell me, oh, the tree,
And I'm smiling.
You're smiling and you climbed the tree. Great. It's a joyful tree.
Well, and the thing is, I can tell you, there was a tree. I can be like, oh, there was a tree.
Oh, the tree.
The tree.
Oh,
and then you're like,
fuck the tree.
there was something very bad, something picking up a lot of negative.
Right.
Like,
tell me about this tree.
Yeah, what happened?
It fell on our house. Oh, it killed my grandma. She's here.
we know who we're talking to.
She's telling me about the tree. She's here.
Boom. She wants you to know.
So we don't need to go through all of the steps, but, if you appeal to the authority of ancient wisdom, that's always good.
Oh, the Mayans.
Mysterious secrets, blah, blah, blah. I'm borrowing from the pagans of old or whatever.
Right.
Throwing in a little bit of scientific talk is very good.
Really?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
I mean, Deepak Chopra has made an entire career out of saying words like quantum when he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Right, exactly.
So throwing in a little bit of that is a great way to add
string
some authority.
theory. People love string theory.
Yeah. Nobody knows what the hell it is.
Yeah.
So you say string theory, you say quantum. This is a quantum connection that I make with the other worlds. And then,
Are you familiar with multiple universe?
The multiverse.
Theory?
Yeah, exactly. Don't forget the obvious. Flatter your subjects. Gravity, right. Gravity is happening right now in this room.
Yeah.
This says, don't forget to flatter your subjects. Tell them what they want to hear. Oh. This is the brilliant part. Okay. This is where they all go right. Because here's the thing. Psychics will frequently tell you one thing that's negative that you don't like to hear to make it seem legit. And then 10 things that feel great.
Right.
Like, yeah. Or you couch a thing that feels great you start it with, your grandmother's telling me that you've been having trouble with your career. You're not quite where you want to be. Is that true? Yes. Your grandmother's telling me that it's going to work out great.
Really?
It's going to work out really, really well for you. Just keep pushing. Grandma says if you push hard, you'll get to that place. Or the psychic spirits. Or, my ass tells you that. And then have your excuses ready. This is the final trick. If you can master this, you will be a fantastic psychic. Start by telling them you're not going to be 100% accurate.
Right.
This is not a game of perfection. And then if you're wrong, redirect. Get over to something else. You could claim that it was something that happened in the distant past, or that it's something that might happen in the future.
Maybe you just got it backwards.
Yeah. I'm seeing. There was nothing that happened to you in water. Oh, maybe it's going to happen to you. Oh, that's interesting.
Watch out for water.
Just be careful. Take appropriate precautions.
Are you planning any holidays which might involve water, where you might be near water?
And you know what? Sometimes just me saying this prevents the bad thing from happening.
Yeah.
Just so that you know. Sometimes just me giving you that much awareness can prevent it.
That was my mom's call on Memorial Day.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What was that?
I told you about this. Didn't I? How she called on Friday before Memorial Day and was like, I didn't tell you
I don't think so. No. What is it?
Oh, my God. My mom's the family prophetess.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And she called before Memorial Day. And she she told me that she was out back painting and she had this impression, and she needed to call me right away because I was a part of this impression, and something bad could happen.
Oh dear.
And I was like, okay, thanks, bye, Mom.
Thanks, Mom.
Click.
All right. You're a bad psychic, Mom. You're supposed to start with general things and then move on. Anyway, that's how to be a psychic. Cold reading is all about... cold reading is basically, just so we define our terms, cold reading is when a psychic walks up to somebody that they know nothing about,
right,
and draw stuff out using these techniques.
Right.
There's also hot reading and warm reading, which is what a lot of these people, these psychics do.
This is what Theresa Caputo is being accused of.
Right, which is when you buy your ticket, you give them your name and your email address, and she can look your shit up.
Yeah, and in this day and age, that has become easy.
Yeah. If your Facebook isn't locked down, if your privacy stuff isn't locked down, guess what she knows? All of the everything.
Yeah. She knows your hometown.
She knows who died. She knows why they died.
Where you went to high school.
She knows how you feel about them.
She knows if you're in a relationship or not. Maybe.
Right. So she doesn't even need to cold read some of these people.
Right.
And all she's doing is looking up the people in the front few rows, because the front few rows are the ones that she cares about.
Does she have the little earpiece, the little tiny earwig?
I don't
earpiece?
know. I don't know.
Like in Fletch Lives.
Or in what was the Steve Martin one where he played a do you remember this? Something faith, keeping the faith or something. And he played a roving evangelist.
Oh, okay. Who did that kind of stuff?
Who was fed stuff into his ear and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, there's a million ways to do it. Sometimes people stack the deck. Sometimes, a publicist will bring people in that they know and say that, you're going to see a real psychic, but then, tell the psychic, by the way, this person lost their mother.
Right.
Or this person.
Well, she really wants to come. I mean, and it can be innocently enough.
Right. Sure.
This information can be conveyed without the person even realizing how much they're giving away to the person. The publicist could possibly even believe the psychic is real, right?
And still give her all him or her all of the information.
Yeah, exactly.
It's also, a lot of psychics, even in a group environment, will talk to people, quote, before the reading has begun.
Right.
And just say things like, hey, who did you come here hoping that you'll talk to? Okay, cool. Who did you come here hoping that you'll talk to?
Right.
That's interesting. And she's cataloging it.
Uh-huh.
And then later, ta-da! That person appears. Amazing. Look stuff up online. All we're saying is we have no proof that there aren't psychics in the world.
Hard thing to prove.
Virtually impossible. But I will say this. Keep your skeptical guard up out there, kids. Don't go to psychics if you want to. That's fine. Enjoy a show or two on the TV tubes. Just know that people are out there and they want to trick you.
And take your money.
So
that's the key.
So be entertained, but maybe keep the life decisions. Make those based on the best evidence that you have, rather than on what somebody.
Right. Or roll dice.
Or yeah, sure. I mean, it's the same thing.
People do that too.
The truth is that if you roll dice and then you make a decision based on that, your chances are you're actually letting the dice sort of make you aware of what you already wanted to do.
Exactly, yeah.
Which is what psychics do too. I mean, you can take a psychic's advice. Chances are that all they've tapped into is telling you what you already wanted to hear. And if you wanted to hear that, then that's the advice you wanted to take in the first place.
Yeah.
So there you go. Maybe do that.
Yeah. All right.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody. If you want to be a part of our conversation, or if you want to scold us and tell us that your psychic is real, even if these other psychics are frauds, but your psychic is real,
I would love it if somebody has a real psychic story.
Then let me know.
Or any psychic story, actually.
Right. You can write to us at podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you can leave us a voicemail at 424-666-8442.
Love it when you do that. Go onto the Facebooks and see what Mackenzie's doing up there. Facebook.com/TGIAtheist.
And head on over to the website, www.thankgodimatheist.com.
Yeah, we're blogging now. We got people engaging with each other.
It's fantastic.
We want much more of that. That's also the place where you can go, by the way, and help us out by donating to the show. All the best people do that.
All right. Well, thank you, Mackenzie, for all of your help on Facebook.
And thanks to the Red Rock Hot Club for the music.
We sure do appreciate it.
And we'll see you next week.
All right. Bye-bye.